right, still a bit foggy outside this morning. If you're out traveling, please be careful. Joining us this morning, we have some special guests. Good morning, ladies. How are you today?
Good.
Let's have you introduce yourselves.
I'm Jackie Wagner.
And Anna Lenort.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
What's going on?
Well, we're having a ladies' conference, and we're all excited about it.
And you invited us?
No, you're the wrong gender.
Oh. Yeah, you can't tell anymore, can you?
We won't go there, Luke.
So now, this is something that we've discussed in the past.
Right.
So it was so
Years ago.
successful, yeah.
This has been our 10th year.
Wow.
And it's really exciting because we just decided this is the year to pull everybody back together, and hopefully all those that have come throughout the years will come today and be here for this 23rd, 24th October.
Okay, so that's coming up in just a couple weeks.
Yep.
All right, so let's kind of take us back and tell us about what the conference is about.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
About 12 years ago, there were 5 women from 3 different churches that had a vision. They had been to Pittsburgh, they had been to Philadelphia, they had been to other conferences, and they thought, wouldn't it be nice to be able to bring the conference to the ladies here in this area? And so that's what they did. And so 10 years ago, we decided we would go ahead and try and model it after other conferences. And we've had an average of approximately 200 women each year.
Wow.
And it goes up, it goes down, but that's pretty much our average over the years, and so we feel it's been very successful.
Now, what happens when you come to the conference?
It's a Friday night and Saturday. So when you arrive Friday night, you're greeted by a great group of women. You'll receive a bag that has a lot of materials in it for the weekend, gives you a brochure and a notepad and just little gifts from us. And you get to spend a lot of time with ladies that you know and that you might not know, and get to hear a really great speaker. So that happens Friday night, and then we do it again Saturday for a Saturday session.
And things begin Saturday morning with a nice breakfast.
Yeah.
Now she's excited.
Anna likes that.
It's great.
We end Friday night with a dessert fellowship, so the women have a chance to get to know one another. When they come on Saturday, most of them had a chance to at least visit and be. We have a book room where they can go and browse. Our speakers always bring books with them, maybe CDs, depending on their area of expertise. So it's just been a fun time. The idea is to let the women get away from their homes.
It's great.
Let Daddy go ahead and babysit if there's children involved, and just pamper them for the weekend so they can just enjoy and relax, and then be ready, prepared to go back home again.
So if you come to the conference, what do the women take away with them?
Well, what we hope they're going to take away with them is the fact that they've been in fellowship with other women, but also they've learned something, because our speaker, who this year happens to be Ellie LaFaro, comes as not only a motivational, inspirational speaker, but she also comes with a sense of humor. I mean, you laugh and you enjoy yourselves, and I think this is so important for women. Sometimes we get so caught up in the world and all that's going on that we forget the importance of laughing together and to being inspired. And generally, she makes the Bible stories come alive. So they may have read them many times, but they may not have taken them to heart. And by the time they go home, they have a better outlook on life, I think.
It's a little bit like I would guess kind of like going to the top of the mountain and coming back for the weekend. You come back a little refreshed, a little more highlighted, a little more focused.
You're right, Mark.
And you can hit the ground running. And
Well, you don't hear that too often.
No.
tackle whatever it is you need to tackle.
Yeah.
And you feel more positive. I think that's a good thing, too. I think in the world in which we're living, it's nice to be upbeat and positive about things.
Very uplifting. It's a really uplifting experience, and it's so much fun. So much fun, and it's right here in Titusville.
How did you happen to run across Ellie LaFaro for this particular conference?
We go to a speakers bureau, and we listen to recordings. If they have some sort of a visual thing, we look at that. We try to pick ones that we think will be able to meet the needs of our particular women in a small town. She was here 2 years ago, so we've had already an introduction to her. And so we decided, since this was our 10th year, let's bring her back. So that's what we did.
And I got to ask you, how long have you been part of this?
Oh, goodness. This will be my 5th year.
Wow. Okay.
This will be my 5th year. I've had, I guess, different roles throughout it, but the main thing that I do is church awareness, and I'm on the worship team I'm not going to sing for you now, so don't ask me. But I saw that look in your eye, Luke. But it's just great. We have meetings just about every month, and I just basically help out wherever I can. But I coordinate this year the guest table. Ellie brings a lot of books and CDs with her, so we kind of coordinate all of that. But
So
it's a group effort.
Go back to the first one, and when you left there, you thought, I have to come back.
Definitely. Like she said, you do feel refreshed and very uplifted, and like she said, with everything that goes on in today's world, and especially how busy we are in just our personal lives, it's nice to just get away for an evening and a day and come back and be able to apply everything that you learned into your life to make everything better for yourself and your family and those around you. It's really great.
I got to tell you, right or wrong, my wife, I don't know how she does it, because we've got 16 kids. And
Dude,
me, and
It was 35 the other day.
it was, yeah. But I honestly don't know how. I was thinking about that the other day, because I'll say to her, like, oh, I got this going on, can you do this? And then I was thinking, well, wait a second, she's already doing this. That's not quite fair, but she does it. I don't know how she does it, but she does it. But you're right, to have a weekend to say, honey, here you go, do the laundry,
Yep.
do the dishes, do whatever, but I'm out of here. I just need to get away for a little bit.
I remember last year, Jackie, when she was welcoming the group, she said that many of us had probably left criers at home. Some were children, some were husbands. and there was quite a response to that of, oh yeah, lots of criers. So.
Now, you have a nice facility where this is being carried out. Tell us a little bit about that.
Right.
How's it working inside the facility?
It's down at the Titusville Free Methodist Church, so it's on 27 out towards Meadville. And there's a great sanctuary in there, nice and open. There's not a bad seat in the house, I'll put that in there. But it's just a great space where it works well for us to have our lunch in there, and it just works well.
And it's a big enough place. I've been out to visit many times, but it's a big enough place that folks can get up and walk around a little bit. I imagine if there's need for private conversation or something like that, there's plenty of facility for that, which is a really nice thing.
Yeah, we have a designated prayer room, so that's nice that we have that space.
So how much then, and Mark brings up, how much of it is, the collective, everybody involved, and then how much of it is maybe somebody saying, boy, if you have 5 minutes, I'd like to just sit and talk?
We try and build that in throughout the weekend. We don't do it during the conference time, but during the breaks, we encourage people to go to the book room and look for things, but to also, if they need to talk to someone, they have special name tags, insignias, so people know where to go, and they can go in there and have that time to just talk if they're having a problem, or if they'd like a referral to someone, a resource someplace else. It's a kind of a quiet time, and yet you've come off a really high. And so it's a mixture throughout the weekend of feeling explosive some of the time, but also then feeling that I have a need to be able to talk to someone. And because
that comes out of that, right? When you start to get comfortable with the situation and you realize, oh my gosh, here's somebody that maybe can relate to me.
Right.
Oh, by the way, blah, blah, blah.
Well, I imagine the music and the worship really key into this too, because it's not just about the message.
Right.
It's about what you do with the message, and I imagine the music and the worship have a lot to do with that too.
It does. I think sometimes our worship songs say the things that you can't say, and it's like, man, that's exactly how I feel, but you'd never think to say it that way.
And that's why I listen to rap.
I knew it, Luke. There's all kinds of things we're learning.
Now, the event is coming up October 23rd and 24th. The cost is $30 per person. Students, $25.
Right.
So there is a fee, even though it says Titusville Free Methodist Church.
There's a fee, and what we've been trying to do is to keep that fee low enough that for anyone who wants to come, we even have partial scholarships available. We don't want money to ever be the issue, but we have done everything we can to keep that cost. Many other conferences have gone up in their price, and they've lowered the amount of time they're spending. But because they have Friday evening with the dessert fellowship, they start the morning with a continental breakfast. They have a wonderful lunch, which is catered by Joe Gianni. And so there's things throughout the day to kind of break it up, but the cost, we want our Titusville Pitt students to come if we can. We want teenagers to come because Ellie's the kind of person that doesn't relate just to a certain age. She does really well with younger ones, and she does really well with ones in their 80s and 90s.
But you'll take folks from all over the region, right?
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to come to this event can.
We have people that have come up from Pittsburgh, down from New York State, Buffalo, all over. And I think it's because it is local. And I think it makes a difference when it's in your own town. That's what we want to do, is encourage people to have the facility available to them.
And I see that this year you'll support Love Inc.
Right. What we're trying to do is to collect glove and mittens for them, scarves for little 5-year-olds and under, just because so often there's a need there and it's just not met. And we asked Debbie Miller, of Love Inc., what would be the best thing we could do for you, and that's what she said.
That's
so
great.
We enjoy always, every year we support something. Right. Hospice, Love Inc., whatever organization might be needing help, that's what we name for that mission project for the year. It's optional, no one has to do anything, but it's something that they seem to enjoy doing. They like to see the box getting filled up. And,
absolutely.
And knowing, and then they always get a prize, too. We have gift baskets and gift certificates available after lunch on Saturday. That's our way to get the evaluation forms filled out, because we have a drawing. So, that's encouraging. We have some people that put it in Friday night, and we say, no, you haven't evaluated the whole conference yet. But we just do that because, once again, that's just a perk-up kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Now, folks, if they're interested in being a part of this, they have until October 16th to register for the event. How do folks get a hold of you? Who can they contact to get more information or to sign up?
They can call the Tea Free Church at any time that they want to. They can also contact Diane Harmon out in Pleasantville, and her name's in the telephone book. Either one of those are acceptable. We have brochures located all over the town with posters, so they have numbers. And Anna could even give the website, where they could go on and just look at the full thing.
We have a brand new website. It's TitusvilleLadiesConference.com, and you can also find us on Facebook. And there's a way for them to get a hold of us on both of those places.
Okay. And this is a great event that's coming up October 23rd and 24th. It is 21 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock. This is the Morning Drill on Stream Television and the Allegheny News Talk Sports Network. 10 years of this event. Jackie, going back, did you, after the first one, did you think, okay, this was nice, maybe next year, maybe every other year? Did you know you were going to be doing this for 10 years?
Yes.
Did you?
I had no doubt that once we started it with a committee of over 20 women from all different kind of churches. We've actually had 98 plus churches involved throughout the years.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, that's a large contingency. Plus, we've had people that have never gone to a church, never darkened the doors, and yet they hear about it, they maybe come with a friend, and then they get encouraged and want to come back, and then they help to serve. Like Anna. I mean, she didn't come the first couple of years, but her mom was active, and so you just draw them in. And that's a wonderful feeling to know that you can offer something that is a reasonable cost and still give them a quality of a production in which they'll come out different. They'll come out changed.
So not only is this a chance to kind of go sharpen the stone or sharpen the saw or what have you for a lot of folks and come out refreshed and motivated, this is a chance maybe to come home to church too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to be a part of a volunteer thing that's just fun. I mean, when we get together, we do an awful lot of laughing. I mean, even the monthly committee meetings are not dry.
No.
We never know what's going to go. Of course, Anna's there, so.
Okay, well, good. But she won't sing this morning.
No, it's not happening.
Something. Give us something.
So, well, okay, I'm not going to step all over that.
No. All right, so... Again, this is an event that begins Friday evening, and then folks can, if they're from around here, they can go home Friday night, come back Saturday morning. If you're coming in from out of town, there's places to stay.
And that's why we give them a listing of where they can stay. And there always are a group of women who even might be local but want to get away from home. So they might end up staying at a motel for the night with the other girls just to enjoy having a fun time together.
You don't have to go home to the criers. It's great.
Yeah.
Well, that's something I wanted to ask you about. Is you have all of these folks from the 98 some odd churches that have been here throughout the years, and you've told us how refreshing this is for so many people. But have you heard much? And I imagine you have, in the way of testimonials. What do people tell you? What do the women tell you after a weekend like this?
The evaluation forms are very telling in that most of them have been so positive about every aspect of the conference that we've just been thrilled. Every once in a while, someone might be able to say something like, the lines were too long for lunch, or I had to wait that first half an hour for the first group to go through, but we entertain
Or Anna,
them.
we don't want her singing anymore.
That's right, no more singing.
I don't think that's been on
You're
their
allowed to
list.
hit him when you leave.
It's not nice to do that on TV.
But I think, when people evaluate something, you hope they're being honest.
Yeah.
And we use those evaluation forms we look at them very carefully and try to improve on any areas that we might have had any negativity. But most of the time it's not negative. And they have prayer cards they can fill out. If they have a concern and they want to remain anonymous, they can just fill it out. And our prayer committee prays for them every day during the next year. So that's always available to them, which is a boon to know that someone cares about them.
So this just isn't a one-time deal. This is something where these ladies get remembered throughout the year then.
Right.
Definitely.
And we have gotten phone calls from people afterwards that have gotten to know us, and they have called and said, you mentioned that you're available. Are you? Can I talk to you on the telephone? Can I meet with you? And when that happens, you know that it's touched somebody's life. And that's the whole idea. I mean, this isn't just meant to be just another experience. It's really meant to be one that will help to change people to be a better person.
And it sounds like, even going back to the question about did you see this going on for 10 years, in your answer, yes. Obviously, that confidence and knowing that there was more to it than just a conference, a one-time, one-and-done thing. This is something we want to build upon and continue to reach out to women in the region.
And
it sounds like you've had that from the beginning.
Yeah, it's not been the same people that have worked. They've changed over the years. They've pulled new people in. We're always trying to get younger people to be involved in it because it's so important if they get that base when they're younger.
Right.
So we just enjoy doing it. It's just been fun. I don't think there's been any doubt. I don't know about the future. I've been emceeing it for 10 years, and I just love doing it. I stand up there and I watch the expression on people's faces and some of the responses they make, and they just light up, and I think that's marvelous.
Is that the best part of it for you, is watching how people react to this?
I think so. Plus, I grow. I mean, you come to a conference and you don't, I've done this so many times, maybe there's nothing for me. There's always something that comes out of it for everybody. Doesn't matter, and it may be not always through the speaker. It could be through a song. It could be through a fellowship where somebody just for the first time gives them a hug and they don't even know them, and so they don't feel like they're a stranger anymore. I think sometimes we are so careful not to touch one another because of all that's out there that we just forget that sometimes people just need a touch on the shoulder or just a compliment. How nice that is when somebody says, you look lovely today, or you have this beautiful smile, or whatever it might be.
Anyone in your audience, folks that have attended these, anybody attended the last 10 or 12 years consecutively?
Yes, we usually ask them how many have been here since the beginning and how many are a first timer, and we'll have them sit down and and levels, and it's fun to watch that. And there are people that have come every single conference, and that's good. But you also need the base of the first timers.
Well, this is true. I was just wondering because if you have those folks that have come every year, that's a good base to build on too. They're obviously coming back because it means something to them from year to year.
Definitely.
And they get the brochures mailed out to them. And every church in the area that we know of, we mail out a packet to them with a poster that they can advertise and a bulletin insert and brochures. So we do everything we can to try and keep in contact with pastors and let them know, because we have so many new pastors in the community right now that they don't know about this. So we just try and do everything we can to keep the information flowing throughout the whole year.
Are you already planning next year, or do you wait to get through this one?
No, we always try and work 1 year in advance. We have Carol Kent coming as a speaker.
Oh, wow.
And she's dynamic, motivational book writer, wonderful lady, and we're already working on 17.
Really?
Trying to get someone,
yes.
If we can work at least 1 year in advance, then we know we can introduce that person at this year's conference, and that's what we try to do to just get them all excited about what's going to be happening.
You bring up young folks, getting young people involved. It seems like every couple of years there's, the media has a story saying young people aren't going to church, and then young people are going to church. What are you seeing happening here locally?
I'm not sure that age between 20 and 30 are the ones that are the most active. For some reason, they go away to school or they move away to get a job, and sometimes church doesn't seem to be the most important factor to them. But what we're hoping is that if they've had the foundation, I mean, biblically it says, train up a child in the way he should go, and they'll come back. And so that's what we gear towards. And I guess we try to focus more on the positive than the negative, and just encourage people to be involved not only with parents but with their friends. You know, if the peers are going, they'll go. So if you can just get one or two of them to the point where they want to be there and be involved in activities, but the church has to provide them with special classes that speak to them. Young marrieds, you know, young singles, whoever it might be. And so that's the church's job, to try to provide programming that'll encourage them to come.
And keep people connected with that afterwards and during. I think that's important. So many things happen when, as you mentioned, the whole theme of this is being positive. And if you keep people positive, if you keep people interacting with positive folks, almost anything could happen.
Yeah. Our theme is more of you, Lord, and less of me. Mm-hmm. And the idea is that sometimes we become very self-centered, and we really have to watch. So how do we keep our priorities on things that might meet the needs of other people, or to be more of an inspiration to other people?
On that note, it has to be about me at the moment because I have to go to break. So, ladies, thank you so much for coming in this morning.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us.
October 23rd and 24th.
Yes.
Right.
And you can contact the Tea-Free Church and get registered by the 16th.
Right.
So hurry up and do so. Ladies, thank you. It's great seeing you this morning. Coming up next, a final look at news this morning, and Emily Altamore of the Titusville Area Chamber of Commerce.